definition of couple and my definition of couple
Sorry.
are not the same.
That was excessive.
That was a bit excessive.
Number of claps. Well, I just want to make sure that we're synced up properly for today's episode. Today's a special episode.
So I'm going to hit you with something. You've not seen this. We've not talked about this.
Hit me.
I'm going to hit you with it. So I want to let you know I went running with my Bible.
Uh-huh.
Now my Psalms are sweaty.
Are your knees weak and your garments heavy?
Ooh.
Are you going to have to gird up your loins?
Pull up my trousers and
gird up
head
your
on
loins.
It. Listen, I saw that last night, and I said, I think I'm going to...
That's gold. I like that.
My Psalms are sweaty.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty good. By the way, to my naked ear here, you're sounding different.
You're sounding mighty crispy.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give you that. You're sounding crispy this morning. Looking the part. You've got a dad-burn boom arm over there that looks like it could crane in an AC unit.
Visually, things have changed. Hopefully, audibly.
Yeah.
Definitely audibly, things have changed.
And we're thankful for that. And we'll get to that here in a second.
We're very thankful for that.
We're definitely very thankful. Shout out
Right
Blake.
on the heels of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Shout out Blake. Wasn't Blake the one who introduced Than the Lord to us?
Just inadvertently.
Your cousin Blake.
Yeah, inadvertently.
So thank you, Blake, for that. Good ha-has, good comical relief there.
We also have a guest.
We do have a guest today.
We'll talk about that.
Some poor sap
has
agreed to come to Faith and Frames today.
Faith and Frames.
Blows my mind.
Welcome back. Wherever you find yourself in life, good morning, good evening. Buenas noches.
Hey there. That was Spanish.
That was definitely a very bad version of Spanish.
Yeah. I took French, and it's not much better than your Spanish. Probably worse than.
I'm not even going to say that. I do well.
Oh.
Actually, I don't do well, but I do enough to speak English.
Yeah, that's true. We have a very loose interpretation
of that language,
of the English language.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful though.
Yeah, the Southern dialect.
I'd have it no other way.
The Southern dialect is definitely beautiful, in my opinion. Some people hate it. I love it.
We were somewhere the other day, and the guy was talking about how he ordered something at Arby's. We were at that FCA banquet, actually.
Yes, yeah. Preacher guy.
He mentioned, he's like, so I'm up in Ohio, I think.
Yeah.
Northern part of Ohio. They end up at Arby's, and he said, the lady said, can you order a kid? Can you say your order? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She then turns to the microphone. You know how Arby's has the da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, so he got to order to the back of the kitchen.
She turns it around to him.
Straight from the source.
And he told him that he wanted like 2 beef and cheddars and some of them their curly fries and et cetera. But anyways.
That's when you know you've made it, because most people just try to imitate the dialect.
He said, I'm not going to imitate it. I'm just going to let you redo that.
I want the source.
So let's just let the elephant out, this cat out of this bag. We have new microphones.
We do have new mics. You have a new boom. I have one on the way.
One on the way.
Yeah.
How did those come to be? Let's just thank our sponsor.
Man, we're gonna have to change the name of the company to Emotional Creative Media.
Ooh-wee.
Because I got plumb emotional whenever these individuals reached out to us.
Yep.
Again, some poor sap wanted to sponsor this channel. Very first sponsor.
This podcast.
Yeah, my bad. Some very poor sap wanted to sponsor this podcast.
Yeah.
Reasons unknown. But I was plumb emotional when we went to take their sponsored photo the other day.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and just thank our sponsor.
Today's episode is sponsored by none other than us. I'm just kidding.
It's actually not.
It's actually not us. Our first official sponsor, Animals West of Greenville, Tennessee. Animals West Veterinary Clinic. Here at Animals West, your pets are our passion. Our dedicated team offers personalized care, advanced treatments, and a warm, loving environment. Because at Animals West, every tail tells a story.
Yeah.
Visit Animals West today. Tony, Amanda, the crew down on the Newport Highway.
Taking care of them animals.
Yeah, taking care of them and taking care of us.
Yeah.
Also animals. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys don't know how much we appreciate that you wanted to sponsor this podcast.
Yep.
Again, I was plumb emotional Friday. Might change the company name to Emotional Creative Media.
Who knows?
Subsect of Motion Creative Media.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Jared,
we have guest.
Meat and taters. We have a guest today. Would you like to do the rousing introduction of our guest? This is a person who is near and dear to our hearts.
So you've heard people utter the statement of your clients will become friends more often than your friends will become clients.
Yeah.
Started out as a client.
Yep.
now consider him a dear friend.
Correct.
We help partner with him.
Very good looking.
We good looking chap.
Good looking dude.
We talk all the time about businesses and ideas and things that we're going to do or would like to do moving forward. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little later. But Preston Whitehead, I don't even know if he wants to be known as the owner of Whitehead Construction.
OP.
Certainly the owner of Star Fitness, which is our longest standing retainer client.
Yes.
He has agreed to come on the podcast
Little
today.
claps for that. Little claps.
Little claps.
I don't have little hands today, but little claps.
So welcome, Preston.
Appreciate you having me on.
Howdy.
I appreciate it.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. It was a long haul over here. I understand your all's pain now, coming all the way from Greenville to Elizabethton.
Yeah.
But it's totally worth it.
It's
Totally
a pretty
worth it.
drive.
It's a pretty
You know,
drive.
no matter how you slice it, it is a lengthy drive.
Dude, you are looking slick this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What was it we used to say in high school, Jared? Fresh a def.
Oof.
You're looking pretty fresh a def
Appreciate it.
this
Appreciate
morning.
Yeah.
Got the
Fall-
vest.
Yeah, fall is the best time to layer, you know.
That
and,
is a
Agreed.
Oh
and
my
dress
gosh.
in fall colors,
You
right?
even
Agreed.
got the colors. See,
Yeah.
I'm weird. I'm not a big color guy.
Right.
My color scheme is pretty grayscale.
Yeah, mine's black, gray, and teal. I like teal.
See, I'm a neutral guy too, which
Yeah.
is why I kind of like the fall and winter.
Yeah, you
Because,
get to use those color pops.
You got your browns, your blacks,
Yeah,
your
That's
whites.
a good point.
Earth tones, we call them. Earth
I'm
tones.
not much of a bright color guy. I used to be, bright orange and purples and things of that nature. That's just not me anymore.
Earth tones.
Yeah.
I like it. It's subtle. To me, again, it's fresh. It's chic. Some would say.
Right.
I'm digging the half bubble vest, by the way.
I do
Appreciate
like that.
it.
And we
Appreciate
just
that a lot.
we discovered off camera it has like a secret compartment in the back.
Yeah, and you all are the first person to tell me that. I had no idea about it. So I
We're
guess
observant.
Yeah,
We're
I mean,
observant.
I don't know what you would put back there, but
The beauty's in the
gloves.
details.
Right.
Yeah. Driving gloves,
yeah, driving gloves.
smokes.
Right.
If you're a
Lighters.
smoker.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a smoker, but if you were a
Nah.
smoker,
Isotoners.
Yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff you can put back there.
Shout out OJ. So I personally would love to get a little bit of backstory. Right? We told the audience that you are the owner and the president of Star Fitness. I don't
Yeah.
even know if that's your official title. You run the show.
Right. I don't need any titles. Just
You're the captain.
Not
of
big
the
on
boat.
titles. You're the
I guess
captain of the ship.
I'm not big on titles. Just I guess the guy behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Is the
Okay.
best way to put that. Yeah.
So-
You're the captain of the boat.
yeah.
People maybe discovering Star today and they're seeing where it's currently at, but
Right.
it didn't start there. We know that it used to be another gym. I believe it's called Evolution, right?
Right.
I'm curious how you came up with Star Fitness, how it came to be, and sort of just its origin to where it is today. But what
Right.
what was the groundwork?
So the building was, has been there for, I don't know, 15 years or so.
Right.
And it was originally Smoky Mountain Sports Complex. If you pay attention when you're driving in, you can still see the signs up on the building that says, East Tennessee Sports Complex.
Right.
But, it's went through a lot of changes. There was, like you mentioned, another gym, which was Evolution. It was there for, a few years.
Right.
That's kind of what started the idea and the groundwork of a gym in general in a big open building like that.
Well, because Smoky Mountain, correct me if I'm wrong, it was mainly a host for like basketball tournaments and things like that, correct?
Correct.
It's like sports
correct.
tournaments.
Yeah, so like under the gym, under the turf is like 4 basketball courts still.
I got you.
Nice. I think we did know that. I remember going through the remodel.
Right.
Whenever we first started shooting and
Right.
seeing some of that as the carpet was being pulled up.
Right. You would never know unless someone told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that was the goal, right?
Right.
I mean, we didn't want any purple basketball flooring popping up through the
I can see
the
why.
aesthetic
I can
that
see why.
we've worked so hard to pull off. You know what I mean?
And we'll get into that too because you have done mighty fine with the look.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, y'all make it look a lot better too. So
I thank you for that.
yeah. But it, like I said, it's went through a lot of changes.
Right.
Eventually, it just became a dark warehouse. Lights were turned off. Nothing was really going on. And Ron Witten came along, and
Witten.
he had Witten Huddle going,
Right.
and he asked my dad if he could have a space to rent the turf field.
Right.
And so, of course, Dad said that was fine.
Well, because you have like how many yards of turf?
40 yards.
Yeah,
of
40
turf
Yeah,
field.
that's pretty unique.
And to
It
have
is,
a
it
Witten,
is.
to have a Witten on the turf,
Right.
like that just makes sense.
Right, it does. It
Ryan
does.
is the brother of Jason Witten. For those of you guys who are listening and don't know,
Right,
Jason Witten, famous Dallas Cowboy, UT Volunteer, and Elizabethan Cyclone,
right.
Bingo.
your alma mater.
Yep. And he, so he eventually said, "Hey, let me try to revive the gym." So that Star, Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys,
Ah, okay.
is how Star Fitness was born. The
That's
name
cool.
Star Fitness was born.
That's rad.
And then after I guess a few years or so, it just never really took off.
Yeah.
It was, for a lack of better words, it was causing more harm than good,
Right.
financially.
Right.
So Dad was like, I'm shutting this down. I'm selling this building.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. Well, that's when I came along,
Right.
and it was, a fresh set of graduating college, a couple years, which I graduated from ETSU. And I was like, you know what? Let me put my money into this
Yeah.
and my vision into it, and see
Yeah,
what
your
we
touch.
can see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
And he believed in me, so
Yeah.
he let me do it. So
Gave you an opportunity.
I looked at it for me as an investment in the beginning. I'm thinking, I'm going to invest X amount of dollars on, a new look, new equipment,
Right.
and maybe I can get something out
Yeah,
of it.
we'll see where it goes.
So, and it started out with working with Arsenal Strength.
Yep.
I've had several different big orders and stuff.
Right.
The first one was the biggest.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the most anticipated. We waited forever for it.
I remember that. I remember
Yeah,
I remember
it was
the
it was
equipment drop.
definitely
Big deal. Big
it was
deal.
a stressful time because I announced that's what I was doing, and
Yeah.
then every single day I'd go, when's it going to be there? When's it going to be there?
Yup.
I'm like, I'm only relaying the message of what I've been told.
Yep.
But it was delayed. COVID was the greatest excuse of all time during that time period.
We were still fresh off of COVID, though. I mean, it was a valid
Right.
reason.
Yeah.
Still impacting things for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, production was just slow.
Right. It was. I guess I should have predicted that better whenever I did the announcement. Instead of putting a month on it, I should have
Right.
put a season on it.
Yeah.
Literally
That's
is
fair.
what
True,
it came out
true.
to.
But I think you fared well in the end.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just, the equipment was a great investment.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes, for sure.
But it was not only the equipment, it was the look,
Right.
Repainting everything.
Yep.
There used to be carpet in there.
Yep.
We changed it to the rolled rubber flooring.
Yeah, which looks good because you got them little blue flakes in there that
Right.
go with the
Yeah.
equipment.
It
Subtle.
does. And it was hard to keep that carpet clean or
Yeah.
indoor looking clean. The
Yeah,
rubber,
sure.
I mean, that's what it's made for. And it's surpassed all of my expectations. It
Yeah.
really has. And that's the reason why I'm working really hard for a second location.
Ooh.
You all know that I've been working on this for literally a year.
Yes.
We know some of the ends of it.
Not a lot of people would realize that, but I think that the pre-planning aspect of it is the most taxing, and it's what takes the longest.
Yeah.
Once I get this thing approved and we stick the first shovel in the ground,
Right.
it's going to go fast. You're gonna blink your eye and you'll be like, okay, wait a second.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Buckle up.
Well, it's kind of like us with productions. Whenever we're on like commercials and stuff, there's a lot of time and effort and thinking and ideas that go into the pre-production.
Right.
So that, again, once the shovel's in the ground or once we hit record, things hopefully go quicker, smoother, more efficiently,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. But I want to back up for a second. So you said that you had graduated ETSU and you saw the gym as an opportunity. Why specifically for you was fitness the move? Because I'm sure that you probably had options as far as other things that you maybe wanted to try.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. You're an entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, why did you choose fitness? What is it about the fitness industry that draws you?
Yeah.
I think it was because of the history that I had with fitness in general, like where I was always an athlete in high
Right.
school.
Right.
I signed to play football at ETSU. I never ended up doing it.
Right.
But I was always involved in the weightlifting fitness world. So I already knew like a lot of knowledge, going into it about it. Something that I've always been interested in, which, you hear all the time, like if you're going to really try hard for something, you have to really enjoy it.
Yeah, you gotta love what
and
you're
so
doing.
like, I always did enjoy fitness. I mean, I never really got into, the bodybuilding, the
Right.
powerlifting aspect of it, but I always have gotten into, trying to be healthier.
Well, it's
Yeah.
functional for you at that
Right.
point.
Right.
For
It's
sports.
necessity. It's necessity.
Yeah.
And, for me, it's not even about the physical aspects of it, which, obviously there is great. I mean, you work out, you look better,
Right.
But
Feel
it was
better.
the mental aspect of it of, when you've had, a stressful day or whatever, like, there's that hour that you get all of that off of your mind.
You can
yeah.
take it out on some weight.
Right.
Bingo.
Right. And that's what I like. And I think that, a lot of people could benefit from the mental aspect of it. So that, I mean, to answer your question, it it was because of something that I actually really did enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, so you saw a need.
Yeah.
Right.
You saw like this can help people.
Right.
This is a need. This is a void, and I'm not ready to let this go. I think I can do something with this.
Right. And, as far as Elizabethton in general, there wasn't a whole lot to offer at the time.
Right.
Now there's a Planet Fitness in Elizabethton.
Right.
But
I think there's a workout anytime there too.
Yeah, there
but
is.
It's pretty recent since they've come on the scene.
But there was never, there was those gyms like you mentioned that were more like commercialized, but there
Right.
wasn't like an actual gym that had equipment that, a gym owner invested into to help you, reach a goal faster, safer, more efficiently.
Right.
And that's, this equipment's not just more shiny. It's just, it actually makes a difference in the
It is
way it's
superior.
engineered.
It's far superior, and me and Jared, as your video guys, we hear a lot of things, quote quote, on the battlefield. So we hear these new people coming into your gym, and they are just taken
away.
back, like they're astonished
Yeah.
at the selection that you have. But
Right.
to me, I think that shows the care that you have for your audience, for your gym demographic, to know that, hey, and you just said it, if I can get a piece of equipment in here that makes their workout safer, more efficient, more productive.
Right.
I mean, to me, that shows that you give a dang about your audience. You
Right.
truly care about the people that are coming through those doors.
I do. And I value their time too. I mean, let's be honest, like most of the time, most people do not want to feel like going to the gym at all.
No.
And
for
they
a
don't
variety
wanna-
of factors.
Right. They don't want to spend more time than they have to in the gym. So what I've done is try to create an open space to where
Yes.
there is multiple variations of each exercise.
Yeah.
No matter what body part you're working, no matter what type of fitness that you're into, there is a space for you. And you're not, sitting around for someone, to finish their set, wasting your
Right.
time.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, we do get a lot of people where everyone, the community aspect of it, where everyone's really good friends in
Oh,
there.
dude.
I mean, I've got people that come in for a workout for, 2.5 hours, but they're only actually working out 45 minutes.
Right.
But that's great. I think it's good to, become friends with people, your gym crew or whatever. And,
I think
we
that's
do
a-
get a lot of that.
I definitely think that's a byproduct of a gym is the camaraderie, the community. I think that makes it, to me, when I used to work out all the time before life happened, that was something that I looked forward to was the camaraderie. And so that also kind of is like an additional level of like encouragement.
It is. That's
make
your
the
tribe.
effort to go. Yeah, it's like,
your
gosh, you
tribe.
know what? I'm gonna be letting these guys down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let these people down if I'm not there.
We are very tribal. We've talked about this in previous episodes, but by design, we are community-driven
yeah.
beings. Like we're designed to be community-driven, and again, just noticing what goes on in your gym, it's cool to see. Again, you've created a place where power lifters can come in, bodybuilders can come in, 40 to 50-year-old people just wanting to be healthy can come in
and never be on top of one another.
Yeah, never be on top of one another. And the cool thing too is though, in a lot of gyms, everybody has their clique. I mean, every gym has a clique, but what I see in your gym is there's a lot of intermingling of those cliques. I know we joke around with Michael Rush Waters,
Right.
and the powerlifting crew and the bodybuilding crew, but like yours, for whatever reason, they seem to mesh pretty well with each other. Far better than I've seen in other gyms.
Yeah. Right.
Where it's literally everybody's on top of each other. Nobody wants to talk. They're in their own zone. Like you really have a gym family, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. And, it's important, because a gym in general is an intimidating space for a lot of people.
Yes.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of people will migrate towards these, class type situations where you're paying $150 a month.
Right.
Oh, dude,
Just
classes
so-
are massive right now.
Right. Just so you don't have to have that feeling of walking into a gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, the intermeshing, like what you're talking about
Right.
within the stereotypes within
Yeah,
the gym
right.
is important because, everyone is there to support each other. It's not like you're there to
Absolutely.
be judged. No matter
Absolutely.
where you're at in your fitness career, we have literally from A to Z, we have it
Oh, yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think that, if there's nothing wrong with having a gym that's strictly bodybuilding, someone
right.
that's very experienced with it, which we have a lot of those people too.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
But, that was never like my end goal. My end goal was, to create, a goal for everyone to be better.
Yeah.
But also, have a good time doing it and feel comfortable.
Well, and I think one thing too, you mentioned it, like you've had some pretty high class athletes come through.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like in the bodybuilding space, you've had collegiate athletes come through there. I mean, Milligan, they practice there quite extensively.
They do.
Obviously, you have the connection with the Wittens.
Right.
But I mean, we've had a couple of guys from UT, you know, drive all the way from Knox to come work
IFBB
out.
Pro, Josh Langbine.
Yeah, Josh Langbine,
Right.
IFBB Pro.
Right. I mean, just since we've been, I've been working with you all. I mean, you've seen the variety of what we could potentially get or what we do get. You know. So I mean, just like you said, I mean, anywhere from a college athlete to a pro bodybuilder to a pro powerlifter. I mean,
To a mom.
There's the bench press world record.
Yes.
Was done there.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Not many gyms. Actually, no gym can say that in the world.
Yeah, just one.
Just one, and it's
That's
us,
the world record.
The world record.
World
We'll get it.
record.
We'll
World
get it in
record.
Yeah, it was done there. So I mean
That's
that's
awesome.
pretty cool. So that, you got the powerlifting aspect of it too. But then you got people like myself, just the average Joes in there, just trying to look a little better, feel
Be
a
a
lot
little
better,
better.
be
Yeah.
a little better,
Just be a little better version of themselves.
And I think that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, I think it
really
speaks volumes for what you've created, and again, we've been fans because you've been on the books with us now for almost 2 years,
Right.
and it's been really cool for us because one thing that can get monotonous in a retainer situation is you're shooting similar content monthly, but I feel like with your content specifically over these past few years, it has stayed fresh for us because we've seen the evolution occurring.
Right.
Monthly, and for us, that's fun. Like we come in and we know that we're going to be touching a different demographic each time.
Right.
So that's been fun for us on the content side.
Well, so that actually brings up a good point. You were saying that it keeps it fresh, and it can be difficult when you're shooting because we do shoot monthly content with you, right?
Right.
That's
Right.
the agreement
Right.
we've found works and that we all like. But it can be difficult when you're shooting every month in the same building with, you've got new members, but I mean, it can get repetitive and mundane. And then, you do a really, really good job of all the concepting. Like that's something that you really like to do. You like to keep your your finger on the pulse of,
And you're good at it.
you're really good at it.
Right.
You like thinking of the video ideas and the concepts. But it can get tiring.
Yeah.
And it can be, it's like, gosh, another month rolled around. Here we are. We got to think of something new. But that's something that you do a really good job of. And we have seen, I would say that our content has shifted. It has grown. It has evolved, as you stated.
Yeah.
And that's just because of like where you are at with your business. I don't know if the audience knows. We talk about you all the time for a lot of reasons. One, we've been partners for a long time now,
Right.
but I don't know if the audience really knows kind of how we started out.
Yeah, our origin story.
And so like you may honestly be able to speak from the customer side on our side of things as to like why you were even interested
Right.
in maybe content, because a lot of people they know, yeah, sure, I should be on social media. I'm probably missing out if I'm not, all these things. Maybe they have the know-how, maybe they don't, maybe they have the time, maybe they don't. But what was it that kind of prompted you to make the investment into hiring a crew to take that portion off your shoulders?
Right. So I always knew that like social media was, a big part of marketing in general.
Right.
Whenever it goes back to the question that you asked with the origin story of the gym, I knew that I could do all these things, put all this nice new shiny equipment in there, but if nobody ever saw it,
They don't know about it.
then they don't know about it. I mean, you all know, the location that the gym is at now is not the easiest to find.
No.
we'll
Right,
say.
right. It's not
you
off
know-
the main highway, that's for sure.
Right. In the beginning, there was a lot of people that didn't even know it was there. And I was like, I can't believe that we have all this nice new stuff and nobody even knows about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Danny at the time, which was one of our trainers that was working with us, which is actually Garrett's cousin.
Yeah.
My wife's cousin.
Wife's cousin.
My cousin by marriage.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
D3, as we call him. D3.
I told him, I was like, I got to get a more professional look on this Instagram, on Facebook. I was like, I got to get the word out there somehow.
Right.
And I thought a good way to do that was with photography and videography.
Right.
So that's when he introduced me to you all.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'll say is in the beginning, in my mind, I was thinking, I just want them to come in and, take some photos, or take a couple videos and then be done. But then when you all, brought up the retainer aspect of it, I was like, at the time I was like, do I really need this? Mm-hmm. But I'll say, I think it was one of the best decisions I've made.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you all have gotten better because you've grown to know the business better, and you've grown to know me better and what I like.
Yeah. Well, we know your audience too.
Right. And you know the audience. Yeah. So I think the retainer, what I'll tell your viewers out there is it's very important because yes, you can go in there and you can take pretty pictures.
Yeah. Right.
But for your business to really thrive, you have to have some longevity behind it.
Right.
Consistency.
And I think that's important. I mean, I say it all the time. Jared sent me November's photos. I was like, I've said it multiple times too. I say these are my favorite photos.
Right.
And I think he's like starting to like really get my
Yeah, you're in a groove.
Right.
You guys are in a groove because Jared's been editing your account now for a while.
But that didn't happen.
It didn't happen overnight. That's what I was going to say. I remember, the first few months that we were starting, because that is essentially on a retainer. Those first 90 days, that is a phase of discovery.
Right.
Where we are discovering things that the business owner likes, that they don't like, that maybe their audience likes / doesn't like. So you see that evolution happen. But now, I was telling somebody the other day, I think I was talking with Jackson actually, and I told him, I said, go look at Star's Instagram. And I said, you can scroll for days right now, and you're going to see that consistent look. I said, you're going to have to scroll for a dang good while to find a time before that look was consistent.
Yeah. Right.
But it does. It just comes through time, and it really comes through trust. You have to trust us to know that we're going to evolve with you.
Yeah. Right.
And for you as a business owner, again, we appreciate that.
Right.
Because it does. It takes time. There's certainly effectiveness that can come from, one-off commercials or a one-off photo shoot. But when it comes to especially the fitness world is a very fast-paced environment, especially on social media. So you have to constantly be putting stuff out because if you're not, the guy beside you is.
Right.
And so for fitness especially, the retainer structure is pretty advantageous.
Yeah, and in the early stages when, I guess when it was really starting to take off was, people would come up like those videos, those pictures, like they look awesome. That was the first thing that I was told.
Yeah.
Like those are looking really good. You should do more of those.
Yep.
It's just because, you have that professional look. You have that consistency of, we've been doing this. We know what we're doing.
You're building a brand.
Right.
You're building a true brand at that point in time.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we've been doing it for a while, and so we have some knowledge. We have some expertise, but I will be the first to tell any client who's reaching out for the first time, it's like, look, we have some ideas, and we're going to try these ideas first because we think they'll work. But here, full transparency, they may not work.
Yeah, they may not.
I mean, seriously,
we have one of two options. It either will or it won't.
Yeah. Well, and so, but here's the thing: if you stay consistent with us, if you trust us, I assure you, I'm going to put everything that I have into this, and we're going to figure something out that works. I mean, seriously, our first like 3 months with you, we're doing similar style content, but at least on the surface level of the look.
Yeah. We're just trying to dial it in.
Well, it was a warmer look.
Yeah.
Do you remember some of the photos had this more like sunsetty, warm vibe?
Right.
For whatever reason, when I started editing, I was like, this is what works.
Yep.
We then, through trial and error and time,
slowly
the biggest
shifted.
thing, time there, slowly shifted to where 1 month we ended up having a really cool.
I remember the video.
Yeah.
I know exactly which video it is.
Wow, it's like, you know what? I think this is it
might be
moving
the one.
forward.
This
I think
might
this
be
is
the
it.
one.
We'll continue to tweak and dial it in as time goes on, but I think this is it.
It was the member of the month in the dumbbell section.
Yes.
I was like, man, I don't know what's about this, but it looks different. I really like it. And then it's like ever since then,
that was the look.
I think that's important because, I mean, I really think it took probably 3 or 4 months before we got to that point.
Yeah, it was a little while. Well, I mean, and you think about it, again, had you said, you know what, guys, I'm good with y'all coming in for, 3 months, and then I think I'll be good, like, you may not have gotten to that look. Well, you wouldn't have gotten to that look because it occurred after that. So at that point in time, your brand identity would still be a little bit unknown.
Right.
At that point in time.
At this point, everything would have been lost in the abyss and it would be almost like that it was all for nothing, I guess.
Yeah,
I think I think the longevity aspect is important with anything you do.
Yeah.
There's no quick fixes.
No.
Even with like, dieting, working out,
No, there's no get rich quick
I'm going to get
scheme.
on this 8-week workout and become shredded.
Right.
Like, it has to be a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
I think with business, you have to be consistent with what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's, we see it the most because going back to media, video specifically, we see it the most on platforms like YouTube.
Yeah.
A lot of people get like really downtrodden when they start a YouTube channel, and it's, the first 6 months, they're seeing like little to no audience, little to no views, little to no return. It can get depressing, but YouTube is the great rewarder for people who are consistent and practice longevity. I mean, I've noticed it on my personal channel. You've noticed it on your channel. We've noticed it on the Motion Creative channel.
Right.
It's one of those things where YouTube wants to see, are you going to stick around and stick through the mud?
Right.
Because, buddy, there's going to be a little bit of mud. Like, it's going to take you a while, but they reward consistency, and that's just business in general.
Well, that's no different than fitness either. I mean, we've got Preston here who owns a gym. Like, that is, again, you're not going to transform your body, lose the 60 pounds overnight. You're not going to get shredded overnight.
No.
Consistency is the only way you're going to get there.
Consistency delivers results.
Yeah.
Yep. I think a lot of people are really afraid of failure too.
They are.
True.
They are.
When, like you said, starting a YouTube channel or something like that, when you only get 15 views on your channel, you're like, oh God, this is not going to work.
Right.
Well, you know
like,
the
what do
time that you put
expect?
into it.
Yeah.
You know the time that you put into it.
And with fitness or whatever, I mean, if you don't see results immediately, like that doesn't mean it's not working.
No.
Like it's just going to get better as you go along.
There's a saying in fitness, and it cracks me up whenever I hear it, because there are so many quick fix diets now and quick fix workouts and stuff like that. But the saying that I always go back to when it comes to like dieting specifically, like that one piece of cake, for example, is not going to ruin your whole physique because you didn't build your whole physique on one piece of chicken.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah,
Right.
Rome wasn't built in a day. So, like, you didn't build your physique on one piece of chicken or one workout, and you're not going to destroy it with one piece of cake or one off day.
Now, if you consistently
Yes, if you consistently
Ride
do
that
either
derailment.
of those, well, or the positive side of that, if you
Right.
consistently ride either one of those, like, you're gonna get results,
Right.
good or bad.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the same way with business. Like, people are afraid. You said something, and it's powerful. People are afraid of failure. They're afraid that people will judge them, specifically like friends and family. Like,
Right.
some of your biggest critics are going to be the people closest to you.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, and a lot of people just can't handle that. They can't
Right.
handle the fact that somebody does not check off on what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, whenever you're passionate about something, like there's definitely going to be the judgmental aspect.
The
of things.
naysayers.
And I've had that with the gym. I
Yeah.
mean, because like
We've all had it.
gym typically you don't think, okay, why the heck is he even doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
And I had like the vision for it, and like if I would have listened to everything that everyone else was saying, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now.
No.
So what did you tell those people whenever you started your gym? And this is just a personal curiosity. What did you tell the people who came to you and said, "Well,
You're
dude,
in
it's
Stony
not going to
Creek.
work. You're in Stony Creek. There's a Planet Fitness everywhere now. There's
Right.
a workout anytime everywhere. There's a Gold's Gym wherever." Like, what was it about that passion that you were able to look at them and say, "Nah, I've got the thing"?
It's because they didn't have what I had in my head, the vision of it.
Right.
I knew that it was going to be different, and you
Right.
have to be different with no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
You know?
have some sort of differentiator.
And I knew that I wasn't just throwing up another Planet Fitness or
Yep.
another workout anytime. I knew what I was creating was something special. And I think that's the main aspect of it. I mean, I couldn't have been like everyone else and been in Stony Creek. They were right on that.
Right.
There was no way that could work.
Yeah.
But then even when I would explain this is my vision, and I'd try to give them an analogy to like try to picture in their head.
They don't get it.
They would just shake their head yes, and I could tell that they were like, still doesn't really make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah.
They had no personal investment either. Like, it's so easy to look at something, look at an idea, look
Right.
at a business, look at a passion, and you have $0 invested, zero time invested. It's so easy to look at that and say, no, that's not going to work.
Not gonna
Right.
do it.
Reminds me of this commercial that I see now where it's like the ant that says, "I don't think that's going to fit." Have you guys seen that?
No.
Oh, anyways, it's a commercial, but like that's how all the naysayers are. Like, they stand 700 miles away
Yeah.
with zero invested and say, "Nah, Preston, that
Right.
ain't gonna work."
And there's a heck of a lot of stuff that didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have been changed and things that I like, okay, I thought this was going to be a good idea,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not. it's not like that everything that you do is going to work.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of it didn't. I mean, it's went through a lot of changes. I mean, the shake smoothie protein situation.
Right.
Like
I forgot about the smoothie bar.
yeah, we had like a few regulars.
Yes.
But it didn't work. You
Yeah.
know, it was hard. It was hard to do it. And I think the only way that you could make it work is have it fully like staffed all
Yeah,
the time.
Sure.
Like
But,
a restaurant, basically.
But like, who's going to pay somebody to sit there and make smoothies all day?
No.
And we kind of transformed that into a recovery lounge, which
Yep.
has been used a lot more.
Yeah,
than
leaps
the
and
shakes.
bounds better.
Yeah.
Massage chair, smoothie. I'll take the massage,
Right,
please.
and I can make coffee.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know
you
that
can
from
make
the last
coffee.
vlog that obviously
Yes.
I can make a pretty good brew.
You
Bingo.
are pretty good at making
was stout.
coffee.
I know, and I
very
was
good at
kind of
making
worried
coffee.
because I only use Keurig, so I didn't really know if I could do it right. But
Yeah.
I give you, I mean, if we're looking at the rookie status of your coffee career,
Right.
I give you a solid B plus.
B plus.
I'll take that. I'll take that because I never make it. So.
Listen,
That's a
if
B
this,
plus.
if this
Yeah.
gym thing don't work out, if this construction
Could be
thing
a
don't work
barista.
out, I think you
Barista.
got a career as a barista.
I tell you what, that sounds like a good job to me.
But I love your mentality because it's similar to like me, and I think Jared shares this too. Like, we're all hard headed. I'm a turd when somebody tells me that I can't do something.
Right.
I'm like, you're right. I'll probably mess up a lot, and I'll probably have a lot of failures. But what happens if it works?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna be stoked.
Right.
Right.
And you're gonna be wrong.
Right. And
Sorry, that's the flesh coming out. But
I think that now it's not necessarily like other people like second guessing it.
Right.
With the new gym specifically, it's me.
yeah,
So now I'm like always like in my head
Uh-huh.
and like, what if this doesn't work?
Yep.
You know? But I try to look past all that. You
Yes.
have to. You have to take that risk.
and self is the biggest enemy of self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be more critical of yourself than anyone on the outside will ever be.
Right. I mean, when you're putting, the kind of money and the time and the amount of failures that I've already ran into when it comes to
Yep.
the new gym with properties
Oh my
and
gosh.
dealing with certain regulations
You've
and
been
setbacks.
put through the gauntlet.
It's been awful. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm still actually doing it. Like, I have almost
commend you
quit
for it.
several times.
Yeah.
Several times already, and it hasn't even started yet.
So what keeps you going?
I think it's just that same thought, that same feeling that I had with the Elizabethan one, knowing that like I know this is going to work even when everyone else doesn't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's me versus myself. It's like I know it's going to work even though I'm telling myself it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not worth all this that I'm having to go through.
Do you derive joy just from being like a competitor? I mean, obviously you have a history in athletics,
Sports
your
background.
sports background. So I think most athletes like we just enjoy the challenge of competition.
Yeah.
Whether
yeah.
it be with self or even
Oh, yeah.
outside, is that
The
maybe
challenge.
the challenge is that maybe one of the other like driving factors? Is like it's a fun competition for you.
I think certain people definitely have that. I think it's in my blood. I mean, my dad, he came from absolutely nothing.
Right.
He started his business out of a van with a couple guys, and he's became super successful.
Didn't know that.
Didn't know
And
that either.
he's, even now that he is stepping away from the business in general, and I'm kind of stepping more into the more ownership role of the construction business
Right.
specifically. I still see it. He's still a hustler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if he is, buying and selling cars or equipment and only making, 5, 6, 7, 800, couple
He gets a little
$1,000
hit from
profit,
that, doesn't he?
There you
it's
go.
like he gets a high from that.
Yeah.
He gets a little hit.
And, sometimes I see the stuff that he buys and he fixes up. I'm like, what is even the point
Yeah.
of like fooling with this?
Right.
I'll
But
tell you what it is.
that's his hobby and that's what he loves to do.
It's the art of the hustle.
Yep.
And you cannot take it away
Yep.
from a true hustler.
Right.
Your dad's a hustler.
He is a big time hustler for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the art of the
And
hustle.
I think that I have, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Sure, yeah.
I have that aspect of him in me.
Mm-hmm.
He's taught me his ways ever since I was little. I mean, I used to go to the office that we still have now when I was 6, 7 years old, pushing around little toy dump trucks.
Yep.
And he would always say, one day, you're gonna have to deal with all this.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with all this stress.
For
And I'm
better or
like-
for worse.
At the time, I'm like, well, of course I'm ready for it. But
Yeah.
now that I've actually been like thrown into it, I'm like,
Dang.
the coffee shop is starting to sound pretty good. you
Yeah.
know?
I think I'm going to go to Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the stressful part about my day is that aspect of the business. So, the gym where I really am passionate about that and I enjoy it. It's almost like I can walk across the street and go to the gym and I enjoy it. I can relax for a second.
You know what's funny is you've experienced in business what you described earlier in the episode as most people's personal place of zen. You know, and obviously you're very passionate about the construction business too, and we've not even dove into that. Yeah, dove.
It's dove.
Sorry.
We're good.
Gosh, I'm a redneck. We've not even dove into the fact that you're running multiple businesses.
Yeah.
Right.
But the fact that gym, going back to that passion, the fitness,
Yep.
is still your little place of escape, even on the business side.
Right.
Because I know you're passionate about the construction business, but it's still your place you can go to and not, be troubled by some of the challenges of the other business, because construction is a tough
Right.
business.
Right.
For a plethora of reasons.
Yeah,
It
and I
is.
commend you because, again, I mean, you're humping it on both fronts there, on the fitness front, on the construction front. Like I commend you for that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the construction business is never going to be mine.
Right.
I didn't start that from
That's
a
true.
van. That was Dad's baby.
Yeah. You're the torchbearer.
I am. The gym is my baby. I'm the one that created that. And one thing
Right.
that I've noticed is that's what I'm kind of starting to be known for, I guess, when I see people that I don't really know that well, or that I know but I haven't seen in a long time. They
Yeah.
always bring up the gym.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't ask anything about the construction business, nothing else. They always ask about the gym, how's it going, the Johnson City location, whatnot like that.
Does that feel pretty good?
It does, yeah.
Good with that identity.
Yeah, you've got that brand identity.
Right, because that's one thing that no one really can ever take away from me.
Sure.
Because anybody that's been around long enough knows that place is not what it was,
Right.
Before I started doing things
I mean,
with it.
we know because in the
That's-
short 2 years that we've been with you, like, it's taken a massive, I'm going to say facelift.
You mentioned two things, and we can probably take this on to the house, so to
Yeah.
speak. With this, you mentioned the retainer. Initially that wasn't what you were looking at. You were just looking at for a bump of quality, and like basically 1 month's worth of content, so that you could get the word out about your new equipment, the new look, the new feel of this gym. We mentioned the retainer thing. You mentioned that it was probably the best investment that you've made. I like the
Right.
word investment.
Yeah.
Because obviously it has a cost.
It does.
Right.
It has a cost, but
Time, money, et
it's
cetera.
like what kind of return are you getting? And I don't remember. I wish we've talked about this many times off camera. It's like I wish we had remembered where you were at member wise, where your social media accounts were at when we first started.
Right.
It's grown.
Right.
Both
Yeah.
of those have grown.
Yeah.
And whether you can like dollar for dollar say, well, it's because of this, it's because of that. We like to say, like you mentioned, we partnered with you.
Yeah.
Right. We have worked through the failures. We have worked through the trials, the errors, all of those things to get it to where it is today. And you mentioned it was probably the best investment that you've made. I am personally so excited about the new gym.
Yeah.
Because Garrett and I both know that it was 4 basketball courts that you have made into a gym.
Right.
Right. This building
Right.
existed. Its initial purpose was not to be a gym, but you have made it a great gym. This Johnson City location is going to be built from the ground up from day one with the sole purpose of being a gym.
Oh, it's
Right.
going to be saucy.
And so like I am really excited because your proof of concept to me, if you take nothing else from this conversation,
Yeah.
forget the doubts, because if you have a great proof of concept in Stony Creek, Tennessee,
Yeah. From 4 basketball courts.
from 4 basketball courts to now where it is today, social media following, members,
Yep.
all of these things, the look, the brand,
Yep.
the merch, all of these things. If you can do that in Stony Creek,
Yeah. You can take it anywhere.
That is literally that's what I keep telling myself.
You can take
if
it
it
anywhere.
works in Stony Creek, it can work in Johnson City.
and I'm not putting Stony Creek down, but again, a lot of our listeners probably don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it's not exactly a booming metropolis.
It's a
No.
corner of the mountain
It's a corner of the mountain.
in northeast Tennessee.
So you can take the things that you've failed at, the things that you've learned from, all
Yeah.
of these things, these successes and failures, to make Stony Creek what it is today. And I think you're just going to pour gas on the fire
Yeah.
once you get into Johnson City.
I knew that, the only way to get the word out there was like through the media aspect of it.
Right.
So I think that the investment that I made with you all,
Yeah.
it has to be one of the best investments that I made, other than the equipment. I mean, because
Right.
like I said, that's what it's known for,
Yeah.
literally. But and
we talked to a member.
Yeah.
Right.
We asked her. It's like, because we hadn't seen her in there, right? She was new to your facility. And we're
Right.
like, how'd you hear about Star? She literally reiterated. She said, "Well, I saw on Instagram
Yep.
right,
that they had gotten new Arsenal equipment and
Yep.
specifically the pendulum squat,
The
which
pendulum
Noah
squat.
Arnett says is the most humbling piece of equipment.
Oh, it's miserable.
that you have.
It's a miserable machine.
But that's proof, right?
Right.
That right there is proof that what you're doing with social media content is working.
right. Because how else I mean, you all know where the building sits. Like,
Yeah.
how else is anybody going to know it's there if they don't see it like online?
Well, you
know,
have a couple
visually?
of
I have to
options.
show them what is inside
Yep.
that big square box.
Yeah, you have a couple of options out of Stony Creek. I think you have the Pony Express, Carrier Pigeon. Other than that, not much. I'll say this to your face because I've said it behind your back, and now that
Okay.
you're here, I'm going to say it to you
Yeah.
square in your eyeballs. I firmly believe that Star 2.0, new location, will become a destination gym facility, not just in Tennessee,
Yeah.
in America.
I like the sound of that. It definitely makes me feel good.
I'm speaking it into existence.
There you go.
I believe it will happen. Once you finally get that shovel in the dirt, get the walls up, there is no doubt in my mind with what you have the capabilities to do within the fitness space. I think it will be a destination facility.
Yeah, I mean, it goes
No
back
doubt.
to the uniqueness of
Yep.
how Elizabethan was. All I had to do was be more unique
Yes.
than any other gym in the area. When you start talking about on a nation scale, like we're
Yep.
talking about a destination gym, you got to really start digging deep on ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got some fun ideas. We're not going to
Yeah.
get into them because I don't
Yep.
want to give
We'll
any
keep
sauce
'em.
away.
Yep.
Right.
We'll
But
let
you've
that-
got some cool things in the works for that facility.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it definitely has that potential for sure.
I'm
it will
stoked.
be. It could be. It really could be. I mean, there's a couple airports
Again,
near.
I've
you
said
know?
it behind your back,
Right.
but right here on this day, to
Yeah.
your eyeballs, I think it'll be a destination
I
facility.
really hope you're right. I think it does have the potential, and the ideas and the things that it's going to have is going to be that uniqueness on a nation scale.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
I think so. I'm excited. I really am.
I've
Excited.
really enjoyed our time today.
Yeah. Not only today, but I mean, seriously, we introduced you as a client,
Right.
And I now consider you a friend,
Right.
And I hope you feel that same way too.
I do.
Yeah,
But
hopefully that's
I tell
reciprocated.
people all the time I talk to Jared more than I do anybody. I really do. I text him like 3 or 4 times a week.
You
Yeah.
guys keep that thread hot.
Yeah.
But
that's
no,
important. It's something that
is.
we
It
we
is.
really like want people to know is when we use the word partner,
Yeah.
it's not a buzzword.
Right.
Like that's really how we feel. Because here's the thing. If your business grows and gets better, then we grow and get
I was
better.
gonna say, in turn, we grow with it.
I mean,
Right.
so by serving you well, by helping you reach your goals in some way, some small part, whatever, you're more apt to tell people like, "Hey, these guys are pretty good. You should
Right.
You
Check
should
'em
talk
out.
to them about your business."
Check them
Right.
out.
And so it's a very symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship. Going back to high school science class, right?
Symbiosis.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and that's just on the business side. Again, on the personal side, like
Bingo.
the personal relationships are far greater than. But no, we've enjoyed our time, over the past couple of years, getting to know you, diving into the origin stories, and growing with you, business wise and on the personal level too. So, again, thank you for agreeing to come today.
Got a little green
Absolutely.
nugget. Got a little green nugget. I'm
A green nugget.
we'll just briefly whet their appetite, as it
Okay,
were.
hit me.
There's a white ball,
Ooh.
a few sticks.
Uh huh.
We got another thing
Are
happening.
we talking about the greatest game ever played?
Ooh.
Oh, 2.0.
Got another thing. Got another thing coming. Got another thing coming.
That's also a song.
Is it?
Got another thing coming. That's
Okay.
an 80s.
Okay.
like
Hair
I'm not
metal.
familiar with it,
Hair metal.
but I'm excited for that aspect as well.
Yes.
Again, we'll just bring you back on once.
Yeah, we'll
that
have you
kinda-
back as a guest.
once that kind of gets unveiled.
So long as we're not canceled by then. But
Yeah.
Bingo.
Well, y'all got to get out there and play with me sometime too.
I don't
You
know
got to
if you
show
want
me
that.
up. You got to show
That's
me up.
not
Teach me
gonna
a little
happen.
bit.
Well, I will say this, and for Glenn, I'm sorry, but we did win our last doubles outing.
Captain's choice.
We won a captain's choice.
Wow.
Scramble. We did.
Yeah.
Well, this could be interesting.
The underdogs. We were certainly
Yeah.
the underdogs.
And I'll be honest with you, if we play tomorrow, we're probably losing.
Oh,
But
we're horrible.
That day, somehow or another, we
strung
ended up-
together a run
we ended up
on
winning.
the back nine.
Ended up winning.
A run on the back nine.
We might have to get out there and do something high stakes, like like lunch at City Market or something.
Yeah.
like
Ooh,
that.
okay. I'm good with that.
That's pretty high stakes.
I can
That is
handle
high
that.
stakes.
I can handle
You know
that.
what I
Well,
mean?
actually,
I can handle
after Glenn's defeat, he did wager another match. He said we need to
Yeah.
wager here.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned food.
So we have a white ball,
I'll bet food all day long.
new aspect.
Yeah.
Really excited about that. We're not gonna spill the beans.
We'll just
completely.
wet your whistle.
Just be on the lookout for that from Preston.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
gonna be a
a
good
good time. We seriously mentioned the star count.
Yeah.
How many times today?
A lot. But go check them out.
Go check them out.
Star
Give them a
Fitness.
visit. I mean, seriously, come in, buy a day pass. And then just
Yeah.
get excited about when they're coming to Johnson City.
Yeah.
Buy
Because
day
seriously,
pass.
we've got so many people who tell us, it's like, gosh, if they were just a little bit closer,
Yeah.
I would come.
I tell you what, if you hear this podcast and you want to come in for free,
Are you about to do something?
yeah.
Oh, shoot.
All
Oh
you
my
got to
gosh.
do is sign a waiver and you get a day pass for free.
He's
If
giving
you-
away a day pass
if
on the
you
podcast.
If you listen to this podcast and you hear me, what I'm saying now, come on in. You can work out 2 days for free if you want to.
So we need a day pass code so that our listeners can give you that code so that you know they listen to the episode.
I think that's a great idea. Let's make the code.
Faith and Frames free.
I love it.
All right. Faith and Frames free.
The
You're going to get
triple
to
F.
try out the
The
best
triple
gym
F.
in the Tri-Cities
Yes. The world.
for 2 days. And so here's the cool thing. If you're in Johnson City, this is literally a whetting of the appetite because you're no longer going to have to make that drive here
Right.
for too long, right?
Right.
It's going to be in your backyard,
Yeah.
and it's going to be awesome.
I can't guarantee that you're going to get shredded on that one singular day pass, but I
2
can,
days. We got 2 days.
2 days, but I can guarantee that the joy that you experience in that gym will want you to come back so that you do get shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So follow them. I think it's at Star Fitness TN.
It is.
Bingo.
And I don't know your
We'll link it
YouTube handle.
below.
We'll put the links in the below.
We'll link them.
Tune in to this content that Preston's the mastermind behind. He's constantly concepting these things. Be sure to give us a rating,
Good or bad.
good or bad. Like and surprise, as your kid says.
Yeah, that's Cole Benjamin.
That would be a translation for subscribe.
Like and surprise to the channel.
And with that,
One thing that I'll tell you all, if you're
Go
out
ahead.
there watching and you're second guessing on video and photography, hiring somebody, I wouldn't recommend these guys enough. They're awesome.
Gosh.
Like they said, we became good friends. They have taken my business to another level. So if you're sitting at
Gosh.
home and you're thinking, is this going to be worth it? Take it from me. It's going to be worth it.
On that note, we are officially changing the name to
Yeah, we are.
Emotional Creative Media because Jared's definitely about to cry.
Yeah.
I'm not the crier, but I'm also getting a little watery here. Guys, we're going to have to cut this thing. Jared, give us the hard part.
yeah, guys, we're just gonna we really want to thank Preston
Thank
for
you.
coming
man.
on.
Little claps.
Thank you guys for listening. Seriously, give his accounts a follow, give him a look. And if you're in the area, you do have a chance to try it out for 2 days for free. That wasn't planned, but hey, it's great.
Hey, we'll
I think
take
it's a
it.
good thing.
Very
Yeah.
appreciative.
Try it. I guarantee you'll like it. So try before you buy. I mean, it's how many other opportunities you get to do that in life.
Get in there and get shredded.
Bingo.
Got to work off the double cheese somehow. And we do have Thanksgiving coming up.
Very true. Very
so
true.
I'm
Work off
going
the
to have
turkey.
to do like a 2 a day to get rid of all that.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Thank you guys for being a part of Faith and
Appreciate it.
Frames.
Appreciate you.
Be safe out
Emotion
there.
Creative Production.
Be safe out there, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Sounds
See ya.
good. Thank you.